Welcome back to Project Zomboid. Before we get on to our Shonda shenanigans, I wanted to fill you in about one of my other games. This is Kathy. Kathy is replacing Alex, who replaced Waylon, who is probably the last person from this save that you actually saw. She's got a really nice house here. And a really nice base compound that I'll show you in a second that she cannot possibly maintain because she does not have any of the skills that Alex had. So her predecessor, Alex, had Carpentry 7, Mechanics 7, a bunch of other high skills. I think she had Long Blunt 3. She was doing really, really well. And actually, let me show you the base that she put together. So it's raining right now, and it's kind of dark, so you can't see the whole thing extremely well. But this is one of the sort of rich houses in sort of like in like southeastern Muldra. And you can see she's got this like balcony up here where she can overlook the whole neighborhood, see if zombies are coming. The neighborhood's pretty cleared out. But the reason I built this was actually because you can't really see them behind the fence. But there are 3 rain collectors here that are plumbed down into into a filtration system down below, into the faucet. Which is great, but it actually led to the first problem that I ran into with Alex, which was the fact that I didn't realize that when you're up here next to the roof of a house, which is currently the roof is not visible because they're culling out parts of the house so you can see the character. But there's a roof right here, and I thought that the roof would be solid, and it's not. So while I was installing these rain collectors up here, I fell through the roof and I landed between 2 cabinets. And so I actually had Alex, like, overloaded with planks because she was in the middle of building stuff, trapped between this sink and this corner piece, and she could not get out. Like, I was just running in every direction, trying to, sprint, whatever. I could not get her out of that spot. And I looked it up, and I was like, oh yeah, this is just a thing that happens to people's high-level characters sometimes. Sometimes they just get stranded. I was, sending panic messages to Andy Hodgetts and stuff like that. Finally, I found a recommendation for a cheat menu mod. That included a no-clip option. And so I installed that mod, I turned it on, I no-clipped her out of there, then I immediately went and turned it off again, because the last thing I wanted to do was, cheapen my experience by cheating. I didn't want the temptation there. So I was like, oh, finally, good. I have this high-level character. I was really worried about her, and I got her out. She didn't get killed by a random fall from a balcony, which is just a boring way to die in the zombie apocalypse. But you can see she had just finished. I mean, her carpentry had gotten up to 7. So she was building staircases. She was building these big double doors so you can park cars inside your compound. And she had just barely finished all of this stuff when she was starting to, she wasn't really low on food, but she was low-ish on food. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to send her up to Greens to go pick up some food. But you can see this little icon here next to her, next to that place. This is where Alex died. So I just kind of wanted to highlight the mistake that I made that got her killed. She's a very well-equipped character, and basically I wanted to go... I knew there were a lot of zombies in the area. And so I wanted to kind of do a smash and grab where I kill all the zombies in the immediate area, I quickly get in and out with everything I want from Greens in one trip, and then I run. That was my plan, and it wasn't a bad plan in theory. But what it meant was I carried 2 duffel bags into the room, and I loaded them up with all of the cans, all of the bags of dried food, anything I could possibly want that wasn't rotten, basically. Stuffed them in those duffel bags. There wasn't quite enough room in the duffel bag, so I started adding stuff to her hiking backpack, and I just sort of crammed everything in that I could. And this was after having killed all these zombies in the immediate vicinity. I hadn't looked in every direction, so I think there might have been some zombies behind. In fact, I know there were some zombies behind Greens in a place I hadn't looked in yet, because I thought, okay, they're not in the front, they're in the back. I've parked in the front. I'm just going to go in through the front, get my stuff, and get out. And then a car alarm started. And I thought that car alarms only started when I triggered them by trying to break into a car. But apparently a zombie can somehow accidentally trigger a car alarm. Or maybe a car alarm can start going off for no reason. I'm not sure what caused it. But while I was in the back room of Greens, a car alarm started. And I was like, oh man, I'm almost done gathering all my stuff. I'm just going to keep gathering in here. That was my mistake. What I should have done the moment I heard the car alarm was drop my duffel bags, get in the car, and get out. Let the zombies respond to the alarm. Let them gather in, let them do whatever they do and settle into a new stable configuration, and then I'll come back and deal with whatever that configuration is afterwards. That's what I should have done. Instead, I was like, oh, how long do I have? Maybe the zombies will take their time to come in here. Maybe maybe it'll be a little while. And so I took one more minute to gather the last few things into those duffel bags, and then rather than dropping the duffel bags so I could run out, run around, avoid zombies, I carried both duffel bags outside. And then my car was surrounded by zombies. And then instead of trying to go as fast as I could, get some clear space between me and the zombies, drop the duffel bag, run, lead them away from the car, and maybe circle back to the car, I tried to get in the car holding the duffel bags. And so my character walked up to the car, and I forgot, when you're getting into a car, let me actually do this. When you're getting into a car, you don't instantly get in the car. Like in State of Decay, you trigger the get into the car animation, and you will get in the car. In this one, there was a little bit of a delay. That was fairly instant. I think that delay gets slower the ever you are. But during the time when I was trying to get in, I started getting attacked by zombies. And getting attacked by zombies also prevents you from getting into a car. And so she just got swarmed right outside of her car and got killed. And it wasn't even one of those cases where it's like I had to do a long walk to nowhere because she got bitten. No, she got piled on and mauled. She was gone in a second. And I was just like, what is wrong with me? I knew the right thing to do. The right thing to do was cut and run when it got bad. You can always come back and try to do something again after you cut and run if you survive. If you don't survive, it doesn't matter what you were trying to do. So anyway, so Kathy here, I made her to have, she's got the same advantages, the same everything. I kind of like that I've set up this game to be characters who are good at mechanics, very conspicuous and clumsy. I kind of like that style of character. So I made the same style of character, but she does not have the experience that I've lost all of that experience that Alex had. So I'm kind of starting over here. The thing is, this base is so cool. I just love this base. I got my little arsenal in here. It's a lot smaller than other places because I honestly have not been doing as much scavenging. I'm playing at a higher difficulty level than I usually do. Usually I play on Builder. This is my Survivor game. So you'll notice I haven't been crossing the map, scavenging all over the place. I've just been staying close to home. So I've got limited access to supplies. There's still a lot of problems to solve. And this base turned out really cool. And so I like it. So I want to keep playing here. But now I got to play with a character who just hasn't earned it. She doesn't have the skills. If one of these doors gets broken down, I can't do anything about it. When I spawned Alex, when I spawned Kathy, the first thing I wanted to do was go back and get Alex's car because her car was in great shape. You'll notice it's not in great shape anymore because I decided, I'm like, well, you know what? I still need those duffel bags of food. So I need to kill all of these zombies to get the duffel bags of food. But Kathy's a brand new character. She didn't even have any armor. She was in, really bad, shape because she had walked halfway across Muldrow first. And had been running away from zombies the whole time. She was already exhausted. So I got in the car and I just ran over the zombies back and forth. And so this pristine car that Alex had spent all of her time trying to get into good working order, I've just demolished it. The trunk is gone. The hood is gone. The trunk lid is almost gone. Other things are mostly okay. But thing is, uninstalling a trunk, she doesn't have uninstalling a trunk lid. It takes, Mechanics 3. That's not too bad. How's the hood? Mechanics 3 as well? Okay, good. So because she started out as a mechanic, she does have the skills. She could take the hood off another car and put it on this car. So she's not as bad off as I thought. So she will be able to get the car back in working order, but still, this is weird. Anyway, so I just wanted to fill you in on that, mostly just because of the lessons that I learned. Number one, you can fall through a roof. So don't assume that you can just walk up against a roof and push against it. You can't, and you can get trapped in furniture. There is a mod. Actually, we're going to go out to switch to Shonda's game. So I'm going to show you this mod. If you do get into that situation where you have fallen into furniture and you're trapped, there is a way out, and it's from this mod. So I'll show you this mod so that you can sort of see what it is in case it ends up being useful to you later on. So under mods, yeah, about mods, whatever. So it's called Cheat Menu Rebirth. So if you look for that on Steam Workshop, you just hit the subscribe button. Basically, you automatically download it, and then you can just turn it on and off. So I went in. So here, this is where you turn mods off on and off generally, and I think this gets applied to any new games that you start. But when you're loading a game, like if I load up this one right here, you can hit More. And you can hit where is it? Choose mods. So basically, I went to the saved game in the in the loading menu, and I turned on this mod temporarily, used it, and then turned it off again. So just to get myself out of that trapped situation. But now we're gonna go back to our regularly scheduled programming and play with Shonda. I've been falling way behind in the chat. Let me catch up with what other people have been saying. Oh, so average Twitch user said, I want to give you some advice for our girl Shonda. Even though it's very tempting, don't use the sledgehammer or the wood axe. They'll tire you very quickly. You mean don't use them against zombies? I agree. Also, they're very slow. I tend to prefer weapons that are a little bit faster so that you can maintain a good cadence of hitting zombie after zombie after zombie. Because like I always say, like the zombie that kills you, it's going to be the one that's behind the one that you hit. You hit a zombie in front of you, and then the zombie right behind that zombie is going to advance on you and kill you before you can swing again. That's the one that's going to get you. And so you want to have a weapon that swings fast enough that you also can get that next zombie. And so something like a sledgehammer or guitars are hilarious. They look like they do a lot of damage, but they're also really slow. And so, you can use them on like one-on-one zombies as a weapon. Against a crowd of zombies, you really don't want to use them because they're too slow. And also for the reason you said, wood axes, sledgehammers, they tire you out. And then sledgehammers in particular, you cease to be able to swing them if you get too exhausted. And so you actually lose access to them altogether. So, what else have I missed here? Malator says a cut and run is an important lesson in State of Decay as well. Yeah, absolutely. Like basically, the whole genre of zombie games where you lose your character forever, you have to know when to cut and run. And it's like know when to hold them, know when to fold them. It's that same thing. It's like the even though the thing that gets sort of dramatized and glorified in say movies, for instance, about playing poker, they always glamorize somebody getting an amazing hand and just going all in, and sometimes there is a good time to do that. But the more important skill in playing poker is actually playing the long game, knowing when you don't have a good hand, not throwing good money after bad, and just knowing when to give up some money to not get into a worse situation. And so that is absolutely true of Project Zomboid as well. Interesting. So La Coalition said, it's got a comment about State of Decay. He says that he always thought that when he looked at the factions and the different leader types, he always thought that Red Talon was like the warlord faction and the network is like the trader faction. And he's like, was that actually intentional? Was there never an idea to make a faction per leader type? I don't think it's really per leader type, not directly. Those leader types, originally we were going to have leader types that were based on different professions, right? We were going to have like a doctor type of leader and a construction worker type of leader, and just different people who had different skills and would be leaders in the community by virtue of their skills. And we would have multiple leaders, and sort of the mix of leaders in your community would say something about who your community was. And we eventually moved away from that, and the only leaders that we kept were the ones that were based on ideology. So the ones that were based on like your sort of your philosophy, your attitude, whether you were about being taking risks or being prudent, whether you were about the primary thing being showing compassion for strangers, or taking care of your own. You're making pragmatic, difficult choices, and things like that. And so the leaders we have are arranged around those. And so because they're kind of ideological, that meant that they also, because we were thinking of the ideology of our game that way, I think you can see parallels between that and the factions. Because the factions, we also could probably line up with those ideologies. So we didn't directly say, this leader is related to this faction, but they do have parallels because they're sort of subscribing to the same set of ideologies. So Average Twitch User points out that because Shonda is a construction worker, she should be relying primarily on short blunt weapons and not necessarily on long blunt weapons. Yeah, so the reason why I often rely on long blunt weapons is because when I am facing a crowd of zombies, I like to be able to hit them multiple zombies at a time. It's a more efficient way to take down an entire crowd. So even though she starts out with a specialization in short blunt. She has been primarily using short blunt weapons, and she also has an XP boost in them, so she'll be able to get better at them faster. I still rely on long blunt weapons for the situations where they're better. Like, I'm pretty sure actually, if instead of a hammer, I gave her a nightstick, which I'm trying to remember, where do I keep my weapons these days? If I gave her a nightstick, I think the nightstick has a longer reach than your typical short blunt weapon, and so. There we go, nightstick. So like if I attached this to my left belt slot rather than the hammer, and if I decided to sort of, I kind of like having the hammer because it's useful for so many like utilitarian things. So if I decided to sort of keep the hammer in my backpack, for instance, but and have it for emergencies, but hold on to the nightstick, that might be more clever because I think I can hit multiple enemies with the nightstick. It's got the wider reach, and so I could use her short blunt skill while still using a weapon that sort of gives me the advantages that I'm looking for. So, yeah, so maybe that's a good move. So I'll take Average Twitch User's advice, give her a nightstick, because I think my goal for today, we've talked a few times about wanting to try to get a freezer that can handle all of the food we're about to make with our farm. Why am I in Muldra? So I think, so I haven't actually confirmed, I'm not dead certain if there is a freezer at this gas station down here. Most gas stations, it makes sense for them to have one. I don't remember for certain if this one has one, but if it does, then that might be worth going down to try to get one, so that we've got a place to stick all of the food that we're going to get. Now, I'm pretty sure that my generator back here. Now, so the main downside of another freezer is that it will draw about probably at least as much power as my fridge, which will double almost the amount of fuel that I'm drawing from this generator. And okay, yeah, so right now my generator is at 21% fuel, 81% condition. So I'm going to want to maintain it, but I'm going to want to refuel it in just a little bit. I just want it to get it below 20% so that I can use an entire gas can on it. Let me see. So I've got 4 full gas cans right here. And do I have anything in the back of the truck here? I've got another full gas can back here. So it looks like we're good on gas. I don't need to worry about getting gas while I'm out. Wait, how much space do I have in the back here? Okay, so I've got like 80 encumbrance value available in the back of this car. So I don't know how much the freezer weighs, but I'm betting it'll fit into that 80. And if not, maybe I can improvise on the spot. So let's see, how much... I've still got 72 in this. Okay, so I'm going to bring this pot of food as sort of my main source of food out in the field. Let me grab a little bit of something that's easier, quicker to eat in case I get into a jam. This is not... Where am I keeping my... There we are. Let's bring some tortilla chips. We'll grab a couple things of tortilla chips. Put those in there. Okay, so it looks like I'm carrying too much. You know what? Let's keep the big pot of food in the car rather than in my duffel bag. I'm still surprised that I've gone this long and I still just have my duffel bag is my main backpack. I haven't found anything better yet. Coalition wants to know if I can make nachos. I'm not sure if nachos is an option. I've never seen nachos as an option. The problem is it's really hard to get cheese after a certain point. Like, you can find cheese in refrigerated sections early on, and if you collect a bunch of it and keep it in a fridge, you can keep it for a while, but there is not a renewable way to get cheese, as far as I'm aware, yet. I think once they get, like, cows and stuff into the game, I imagine they might give you a path towards making cheese, but I don't think we are there at the moment. You know, I'm realizing my plan is not really to be sawing apart furniture or anything. I don't know if I need to be bringing a garden saw with me. And I think, yeah, I've got some weapons that are probably heavier here than they actually need to be. Maybe I don't even need to be carrying this axe at all. In fact, let's see. Do I already have an axe in the back? Oops. I don't. I've got a machete. I do like bringing an axe along for utilitarian reasons when I'm going out into like places where I could get stuck behind trees. This is gonna be an urban trip though. I'm thinking that maybe I don't need to carry the extra weight of this axe. So let's set the axe down. Let's set it down over here actually. I'm gonna turn it just a little bit so it fits nicely. There we go. So I like to keep the weapons that I could come back to for very specific purpose. Oh, that's not right. The weapons that I use for very specific purposes, I really like to sort of display so I can easily find them. Though last episode, you know, I couldn't find that sledgehammer even though it was in plain sight. So, you know, whatever. My ability to do that is kind of limited. But now that I'm not carrying that heavy weapon, I got more flexibility in my inventory. That's good. So let's go. Orthos says that I should strap the freezer to my back like a backpack. That sounds great. I'm on board in theory. Oh, wait. I need to change a bandage. Hold on. I assume I've got bandages on me. I forgot that I'd scratched my hand. Oh, never mind. Well, I'll hold on to that rag, I guess. But, nope. That scratch was not bad. It healed real fast, so that's good. So let's use our best Sunday driving skills. Head over to the gas station. Now, recently, right before my trip to Muldra, I did go clear out the gas station. So I'm betting that more zombies have spawned or wandered in there since. But probably not that many, I'm guessing. I'm actually wondering, it might be worthwhile to just stop for a sec and deal with some zombies. Just because these zombies, like, I've driven past this area multiple times, and I keep seeing these zombies. And they keep being a little bit of a problem. You see, look at that. That nightstick taking down 2 zombies at once. That's a thing that's much harder to do with a hammer. I'm not sure if there's an explicit rule that a hammer has to have a single target, or if its swing arc is so narrow that it's just rare to find an occasion. Ooh, is that a cross? Why do I always say crossbow instead of crowbar? I don't understand it. Is that a crowbar on that guy's back? I think it might be. It is a crowbar. Well, we're keeping that. Am I already wearing a police bulletproof vest? I am. I don't know if I mean, having a replacement for it wouldn't be bad. Or this one's in bad condition, so nah. They got a double holster, though. So now I've got extra holster space. That feels valuable. So yeah, I've just gotten really tired of just driving through all these zombies. So let's just deal with them. Unfortunately, lately, this has... Oh, gosh! You see... Crowbar would have hit both of those zombies. So I think the crowbar is still better at that kind of thing. I gotta be very careful not to... But you see, that's the kind of thing that gets you killed in this game. Is you swing at 2 zombies, you think you're gonna hit both of them, and you don't hit one of them. And if you don't instantly react to that and get out of the way, that's how you get bit. And just with the way my run of luck has been going, having lost both Miriam and Alex in rapid succession, I'm feeling cautious about, you know, the hubris of saying, oh yeah, time for Shonda to get out and just deal with a couple of zombies. No big deal. Zombies are always a freaking big deal. There's no such thing as zombies not being a big deal. Wow, her short blunt skills are better than I thought they were. Average Twitch user, you've given me some really good advice. Like, I didn't realize, actually, I mean, even though the nightstick, again, has got its limits, and the crowbar's got its advantages, wow, she is good with it. She's doing extra damage with that thing. Okay, yeah, so again, let's try to clear the way to the gas station so that future trips over there can go better. So, Average Switch User asks if I've thought about shoving the zombies. So, my worry about shoving the zombies is it's got a shorter range than weapons. And so you have to let the zombie get closer to you, which means that you're risking a bite a lot more than if you're swinging weapons at zombies instead. Oh, I'm getting hungry, so after dealing with these zombies, I should go back to the car and grab a snack. Or just have some chips. Excuse me. Oh. Do you know the... I was getting a little bit reticent there, and I backed up too far. Okay, so Coalición is running a bet about whether or not I'm gonna get Shonda hurt this episode, and we're specifically saying, what am I trying to do? Drink it. We're specifically saying that taking health damage over here from, for instance, carrying a heavy load, which I will be doing with the freezer, that doesn't count. We're talking about discrete injuries that show up as injuries on this panel. So that means getting scratched or bitten by a zombie. That also means if you get bitten by a zombie, man, that's an entire situation. But getting scratched or bitten by a zombie counts, and also leaping recklessly over a fence and scratching your hand or twisting your ankle. That also counts. Just doing my duty, trying to clean up Mark's Ridge. Take that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and see that shove happened because the zombie got close. Shoves are a thing that happens when zombies are close, and that is just not a situation I want to be in most of the time. Okay, we got a leather jacket, not in the best shape. I think if I should try to carry scissors with me, because I mean, you can carry a whole package of jeans with you if you want to, but I do prefer to have scissors with me so that I can basically tear apart jeans in the field and just come home with a bunch of denim scraps that I can use to buff up my tailoring skill. Okay, so here's the place where I was attempting to tow a car that didn't work. Oh, we got a nice little pile of zombies. Cool. Let's see how this goes. Whoever bet against Shonda, this is your chance. Though who would bet against Shonda? What kind of heartless person would bet against Shonda? Everyone's favorite. Get what? I'm trapped. I can't move. What the heck was that? Wait, hold on a second. I couldn't move. I don't know what happened. Did a zombie grab me in some invisible way that was hard for me to recognize? Did a zombie grab me from off camera so that I couldn't see the zombie? I don't know what that was. Okay, I guess, that bet paid off faster than I expected it to. I hope that scratch isn't a deadly scratch. That would be a really terrible end for Shonda's story, to be just scratched by what felt like a bug. Oh man, another whole other group here. And now I'm tired. Why am I tired so early? I got up at like noon. Okay. Yeah, so now that I'm tired, we got a problem. I'm not going to be doing the prodigious damage that I was doing before as a short blunt expert. So I think what I might need to do is learn my own lesson. Let's see. I just need to lead these guys far enough away from the car that they're not going to ambush me at the car. Let's get in the car and let's get home and take care of ourselves. We will come back. And honestly, I still don't even know if there is a freezer here. But we're going to come back a little bit later. Yeah, Coalición, she got injured. You can see right here on the screen. I've just bandaged her, but she definitely got injured. And so I don't know. And, oh, man, the uncertainty about a scratch is so maddening. Like, wait, that's not the road. She's got this scratch now. And it could be her death. But only a 7% chance. So, like, 1 in 14 times, a scratch like that is the death of your character. And there's no particular reason it wouldn't be this time. So that's making me nervous. But yeah, but it's this tired Moodle that's actually making me feel like I need to go home. I'm surprised I've got it because I woke up so late in the day. I expected to last a little bit longer than that. Of course, I've gotten used to playing the Purdue family that I started this episode with, who now Kathy, but originally Waylon and Alex both had the sort of wakeful trait that makes them need less sleep. So actually, my concern was, how do I get them to stay up late enough that they won't wake up at 2 a.m? But I've got the opposite problem with Shonda. She gets tired. So let's quickly, we should have disinfected this, but we were under stress. So let's disinfect this with alcohol wipes. And let's bandage it with a sterilized rag. And now that we've got, we can clean a rag using our sink here, which is kind of fun. And actually, maybe I should, how many sterilized rags do I have? I'll just re-sterilize this ripped sheet here and maybe make some stew for myself. So, to sterilize a rag, stick a cooking pot. And I think only a cooking pot will do this. Stick a cooking pot in there, wait until it turns red and gets untainted, because that means that it's hot. I'll let it get a little bit redder. And then it stays hot for a little while, and so I'm going to disinfect a rag. So there we go. The old bandage that I used on my previous injury is now taken care of. But now I can grab this cooking pot. It only used a little bit of the water, and you don't have to have a completely full cooking pot in order to make stew. So I'm going to, with some of the animals that I trapped, I'm gonna make some small bird soup. So let's see, what have we got in the way of other ingredients? We've got black beans and chickpeas. I think that's stuff that I can use. So Chad wants to know if that van I've got parked out front is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles van. I think it's a little bit inspired by it. I think it's also inspired a little bit by the Mystery Machine, but it's actually the Spiffo van. It's based on the raccoon mascot for Project Zomboid. So it's definitely an internal brand, but I think it is meant to be reminiscent of the TMNT van. Oh wow! So a couple people did win points betting against Shonda. We got Chadab 34 won 3,200 channel points, and Astro Dominic won 2,460 channel points for betting that Shonda would get injured. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like, on one hand, you all didn't show a lot of faith in my ability to keep Shonda alive, but also you were correct. So, 6 of one, half a dozen the other, I guess. So let's cook this soup for 20 minutes. Now, we've got that other soup that I made before, which is probably what I should be eating today. So my weight still is rising. We're almost at sort of the ideal 80 pounds. So I'm going to keep eating high-calorie foods until I get to 80. And then I'm going to start trying to even it out and just sort of hover at 80. Because I think that, so once you get down to 75, or I think 86, your character starts suffering problems from being either underweight or overweight. But if you can hover around 80, that means you've got a lot of wiggle room on both sides. I'll put my ramen out here. You got wiggle room on both sides, and so you can overeat a little bit or undereat a little bit, and you still got some space. You're not just hovering on the brink of some negative consequence. Chad Ebb says, nothing personal betting against me. It's just business. Okay, so let's speed up time a little bit to get that done. Pull it out. Place it on the table. And then, okay, so this is tomorrow's food, when I'm going to go try this effort again. I've got an empty bottle. Let's fill our empty bottle from the sink. How are we doing? Okay, this sink does not actually have a lot of water in it, because I think all we did was just dump some water in it. We need to wait for it to rain, for it to actually have its full complement of rain barrel fueled goodness. But let's go to bed. So last night we were up until 2 in the morning. And so maybe we woke up a little earlier than we should have because we were up till 2. So let's go to sleep now, even though it's only 8 o'clock at night. We'll wake up a little bit early tomorrow, but we'll take some time, get ourselves ready, and let's see if symptoms start popping up from the scratch. Because I should start feeling anxious and then nauseous if this is a deadly scratch. I don't know if anxiety shows up until you're awake, so... Okay. So far, so good. I think we might have dodged a bullet on her getting the zombie plague from that scratch. Okay, we got a dirty bandage, though. So let's remove this bandage and replace it with a decent one. Oh, never mind. Let's just remove it because it's fine now. Everything's fine. Here, I'm going to use some of this rain barrel goodness to... Oh, right. I have to use clean water. It's weird. So I can clean my clothes in tainted water, and that's okay. Like, look, I can wash my clothing, spend the morning doing that. I can use tainted water to clean my clothes, but not to clean a bandage. And I on one level, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It's the same washing action, whatever. But I guess if this is water that is tainted with bacteria and stuff, specifically using it on a bandage that's about to be applied to an open wound, I guess it does make sense that maybe that wouldn't be the most effective strategy. So let's have our breakfast, which is the rest of the ramen from yesterday. And then we'll pack up the new soup, the bird soup that we made, and we'll take that with us, and we're going to try the same thing again, only without sucking. I'm really interested in looking back at what happened, though, yesterday, because, like, I'm still putting all my stuff out here to collect rain. Because I don't want to just rely on the rain barrel. I want to have a nice, deep bench of rain containers. But yeah, it's like, it felt like I was just frozen in place, but without any... okay. I was bitten in my arm. Looks like my injury has reduced my protection on part of my body too, which I need to sort of worry about as well. Let's go and do this. But I think, yeah, after we've either gotten the freezer or discovered there is not one, we'll come back. We'll work on our protective coverings, because yeah, it looks like we're not in the best shape anymore when it comes to that. Oh, so Average Switch User says that he actually believes that what saved Shonda's life was the fact that she's got this patchwork clothing, where she has been basically maintaining clothing, like adding a bunch of protection to it. So I don't know for certain, because basically, so a lot of the clothing she's wearing has intrinsic scratch resistance and intrinsic bite resistance. And then she also adds a small amount of it through tailoring. And because you can, like, basically do layers and layers and layers of clothing, you can put small bonuses on clothing, but then wear 4 or 5 different shirts that all have those bonuses, and it adds up. And that's helpful. I just realized, by the way, that I do want to bring scissors with me, because I do think you're right, that having an edge when it comes to armor protection is a good idea. And so I'm going to go back, I'm going to grab some scissors and bring them with me, so it's easier for me to sort of collect shreds of clothing and stuff in the field that I can then use to make and to replace the armor that I've got. So let's head up to the room where I've been doing that and see what we've already got. So in this cabinet, I've got multiple leather jackets already that are all in good shape. So I can cut these apart, but I can also just use these as a base. I don't need to collect any full leather jackets. Similarly, I don't need to collect any jeans right now. What I need is the strips. So I could make strips out of these, but it's actually not that common to run into a zombie that's got a leather jacket in good condition or a pair of jeans in good condition. Let me see actually where are the holes on my current outfit. Actually, I should clean this rag while I'm at it. Where are the holes in my current outfit? Let's check. Because if it's something that's easily replaced, it looks like the leather gloves, for instance. The leather gloves are damaged. So, and my leather jacket is damaged. What about my denim shirt? Denim shirt's okay. So, actually, even without spending the time to patch it up, I think it would still improve my situation if I were to switch. Let's just put on this leather jacket. I'll switch it to a new green leather jacket that is not damaged. The thing I don't have is replacement leather gloves. So I'm going to keep the gloves I've got because they are still protecting my right hand, even if my left hand's in trouble. So in this leather jacket here, I will grab these scissors and I'll cut it into, because it's in bad shape, I'll cut it up, get some leather strips out of it. That's valuable. And then I'll keep these scissors in my bag so I can use it later. So we'll go out like this. I think we're in better condition. You can see like the green arm here. I'm in better condition now than I was. Oh, actually, another place. I've got a wardrobe in my room. I might have leather gloves in there. Let's check and see there. Leather gloves. Yes, I do. I do. Cool. And I don't think that I can... Oh, I can. I can rip these. Awesome. And I got some thread out of it, too. Well, let's just stick that in my bag. I don't want to go back in the bathroom. Let's go. Let's go. It's getting late. I got tired early yesterday. I might get tired early today. We need to get on the road. But we're in better shape now than we were before. And I think I'll be able to spend some time getting into even better shape later on. Because if you're right, average Twitch user, and if that sort of little extra bit of bite resistance was what made me get scratched instead of bitten, then yeah, I'm really glad that Shonda's got these clothes on, and we need to make sure that she keeps clothes like these on. Moshnant wants to know, is this run just beginning, or has it been a while? This is actually one of my longest running games. So I've been in and out of it. Like, I've definitely put more time into a lot of the saves that I don't stream, the ones that I play on my own. So this one has got less time than other runs that I've done, but this is definitely a long-running game, to the point, actually, where I'm getting to the point where I might want to start a new run just to have the extra challenges that come from being in an overpopulated world when you're under-equipped. Like, there's more drama in that. Actually, I wouldn't say there's more drama. There's different drama in that. Right now, the fact that we've got so much time put into Shonda makes the idea of losing her extra scary. Because, her skills, I've had better skills, but they're pretty decent. Look at that carpentry skill. Not bad, right? Oh, wait. This is not the turnoff I wanted to take. So I've got zombies here that are probably worth clearing out at some point, but... this is not where the gas station is. Let's go back. So some extra drama with the idea of losing Shonda. Every time I say on Twitter that I've lost a character in Project Zomboid, somebody, usually Peroxicus, somebody is like, it wasn't Shonda, right? Did you lose Shonda? Oh no, is Shonda okay? Like, everyone worries about Shonda because we spent so much time with her. So I like that. I like that about, playing a character for a long time. But also Shonda has got a well-developed base now with lots of equipment. She's got more crowbars than she could possibly ever use. Okay, gonna run from this guy. Ooh, got caught on a tree. So I was wondering if maybe that was what it was. Like, there was some obstacle I didn't see on the terrain that I got hung up on and then bitten by a zombie that was outside my field of view. Something like that feels like it might be what was going on when I got grabbed earlier. All right. Here we go. All right. That group mostly taken care of. And notice, that was an entire horde in a place that I had cleared out literally the day before. So this place is definitely got some dynamic zombies in it that are moving around and are not, they're not just staying put. Oh, interesting. So Malatur says it has a theory that actually I didn't get that scratch from a zombie. That maybe a zombie grabbed me, and that was why I saw myself getting held up. But maybe I escaped the grab, and actually the fact that the zombies tripped me was why I got scratched. That seems like an extremely valid theory. I like that theory. As an explanation for what happened to me there. By the way, you'll notice the horde I fought isn't here. I think the horde followed me out to that intersection. That's why I had a horde at the intersection. Was because the horde that was fighting me here, after I got in the car and ran, they followed me. As you can see, the zombies are pretty good at being relentless and chasing you places you didn't think you could get chased. Like, when I was playing as Kathy, and I was just on foot. I had never made it to my base yet. I was just trying to pick up Alex's stuff. I jumped a tall fence to get away from some zombies. Okay, first order of business. Actually, let's gas up the car. Freezer. Okay, first order of business is gassing up the car, though. Let's just do that while we're here. Turn on. Unfortunately, I can't leave the car to gas itself up, which is something you can totally do in real life, but whatever. Right-click that. You right-click the car. Refuel from gas pump. Anyway, so a lot of these... I had a crowd of zombies behind me, and I jumped a fence into a neighborhood. And they couldn't climb over the tall fence. I was like, whew, I'm okay. I just have to deal with the local zombies on this side of the fence. There was like 2 or 3 zombies there. Killed them, went into the house. And I was like, okay, I'm going to hang out at this house now. And I'm just going to stay here tonight and come out in the morning. But then zombies kept showing up at my door. And I was like, I wasn't extremely loud. I didn't do anything dramatic. Why are these zombies showing up at my door? And I realized it was the zombies that saw me go over the fence. They knew I was there, and they were taking the very long way around the fence and coming and guessing where I was. Okay, so when you pick this up, it gets any 2 popsicle fridge is what it's called. So it looks like any 2-tile piece of furniture. When you pick it up, it gets divided into 2 objects. And you have to have both objects on your person in order to install it again. But then it's still installed as a 2-tile thing. Like you're not installing one half and then the other half. You just have both in your inventory, and then you install it again as a 2-tile object. So that's cool. We've got that. Mission accomplished. Let me just see if I've left a bunch of food in here. Holy cow! There's a bunch of crap in this place that I haven't gotten yet. Snacks and snacks and snacks. Okay, we're a little hungry. But the solution to that is to drink an entire orange soda. That is also... the orange soda is a really good way if you want to gain weight. That's a really good way to gain weight. Because it's a bunch of calories, but you can chug a whole bunch of it. Because it's actually mostly about filling your thirst. And not just your hunger. So... let's grab as much crap as we can while we're here. I'm already overloaded. Am I carrying anything extra here? No, just an empty bottle, which I'm going to put in there. Okay. That's me full up. But we've got a car, so let's just dump as much of this crap in the car as we can. One thing I do really like to do is carry extra duffel bags with me, and then basically sort of fill the duffel bags up and then bring them back to the car and just load the duffel bag into the car. So so I don't have to deal with the fact that right now I'm going to have a trunk now that is just so completely full of discrete items. It's like just decoding all of that, figure out what and where everything is going to be a challenge. And check it out. Shonda's already tired again. Man, I got really accustomed to playing as my characters who don't get tired so quickly. I forgot how sleepy a typical Zomboid character gets. Dragon Puncher Eli wants to know if I've ever tried beef tongue tacos. No, I have not. Let me go back a little bit further. That sounds disgusting. Sounds like the kind of thing I would not try. So Peroxicus apparently had a question. Oh yeah, he asked, is it still playtest Thursday? Yes, it is. So I think I've got some meetings that last a little bit longer than usual today. So it won't be till after 4 o'clock when I go to play State of Decay 2, but I am planning on playing State of Decay 2 today. However, I'm kind of ahead on State of Decay 2 videos, and what I really need to sort of fill out this next week, because I'm planning on taking a week off streaming this next week. I was thinking of actually just doing a little bit of Heartland and then going back to Project Zomboid, because Zomboid videos, that's what I'm missing on my schedule right now. So if that sounds all right to you all, I think we will start with Heartland and then come back to Shonda this afternoon. So Dragon Puncher Eli says, beef tongue tacos are great. They taste like most beef. So here's my issue. If they taste like regular beef, then you don't need to be eating beef tongue tacos. You can just be eating beef tacos. Like, The fact that it's tongue, like, if it tastes just the same, then the only point of it is just to be gross. So, I don't know. I'm still happy with... My wife made beef tacos just the other day. They were awesome. I didn't need them to be the gross part of the beef. Okay, I am carrying pretty much everything from that store except the cigarettes, because, who needs those? So Dragon Puncher Eli points out you got to eat most of the parts of the animal. So, hey, I'm okay if somebody wants to stick some beef tongue in, like, a sausage, and not make a big deal out of the fact that there's a tongue in there. Like, I'll eat the sausage, it'll be delicious, I'll be fine. It's just like talking about the part of the animal that you're eating. It just feels a little much to me. Oh, my electrical skill is getting tantalizingly high. My mechanics is still garbage, though. So I feel like something we should start working on with Shonda is trying to get her mechanics skill higher. The problem is... Actually, let's back up and have a look at this truck. The problem is, because I can't tow things, it's going to be really difficult to safely mess with a vehicle. Unless I can find another vehicle that's drivable, which I think we already... Oh, this guy noticed me. Oh, no, he just started wandering randomly, but now he's noticed me because I ran at him when I just noticed him coming after me. Take that. And that. Oh, hand axe. Military boots. Ooh, those are valuable. Let me grab those. And I actually don't have a lot of room left to do a lot of ripping of clothing, but I'll do some. Of course, I guess I could always drop the food that I've got. Yeah, let's just drop the stuff that we've got in the... Oh, here comes another zombie. In the back of the car. Maybe we'll do a little bit more bodice ripping over here. Hey, you. I'm tired, but you're one zombie. So yeah, we can rip the jeans, get some more denim. And we'll also rip the regular clothing, but I don't keep the sheets from the regular clothing because I've got all of the bandages that I need, and that's mostly what they're for. I just keep the denim and the thread. So I'll rip regular clothing to get thread, because you need thread in order to sew in those leather and denim strips into your clothing. So let's have a look at this car. So I think this car probably's got some, like, I need a better hood. I probably need a better tailgate here. This has got a decent hood, decent trunk lid. It's got a bunch of other stuff. Like, suspension is good. It doesn't have the best tires, but it's got one good tire. So there's a bunch of great stuff here that I could grab. Now, I would be garbage at uninstalling a hood right now. Chance of damage, 65%, right? So that's not great. So I shouldn't be trying to uninstall trunk lids and hoods until I've spent some time uninstalling tires, basically. Tires and headlights. And I could undo a headlight right now. Let's go see what state are the headlights in on my car. Not that it necessarily matters, right? Actually, let me dump some stuff in the back first. Throw this hand axe in the back. And again, let's just grab all the food because it's one category, so it's easier to keep track of. So all the food back here. So I've got more room in my backpack for other stuff. But yeah, so it might be worth it just to uninstall and reinstall stuff that I don't need to do that with, just for the sake of giving Shonda some practice, just a little bit of mechanics skill. Because yeah, basically you need your mechanics skill to be a certain level in order to install and uninstall items without damaging them. Because, if you find, like, if you go out there and you find a better hood than the hood on the car you've got, if you damage it by uninstalling it, it might get worse than the hood you've got over the course of your period of time trying to get it. So, oh, and Malator says ripping clothes gives a tiny, tiny amount of tailoring XP. I think it is. I think what I've heard was it gives you tailoring XP if you get thread out of it. And so I think it's just you keep ripping and ripping and ripping. Occasionally you get thread, and the times that you get thread are the times that you get XP. So yeah, so this car could use some better tires. It definitely needs a better trunk lid and hood, but I'm not qualified for that yet. It needs a better windshield. Definitely not qualify for that. That takes, to do this right, takes mechanic skill of 5, and I've got 0. But you know what? Some of my headlights and taillights aren't that great. And so it's only going to give me a tiny amount of mechanics. Right now I'm at 7.5. And if I uninstall my left tail light, that's going to go up to 8.25 with a multiplier of 3. So one problem that I've actually had with in the other game that I was showing you with like Alex and Kathy is that I don't have an electrician book. I've not been able to find Electrician Volume 1, which means, or Electricity Volume 1, which means that they have been dismantling and dismantling and dismantling things like crazy, and we're not able to get they were not able to get even one level of that skill, which means they couldn't hijack cars or whatever. They couldn't hotwire cars, and so they were relying on being able to tow cars in order. And their mechanics still got pretty high, but they still didn't get that electricity skill. And they kept, trying and trying and trying, but it just takes so long without a book. It takes so long to get a skill up to a decent level that they couldn't even get a single pip of it. So I don't know. I might need to send Kathy to March Ridge to go to the library or something like that. If I really want to get her able to hotwire cars, because the whole reason I started that game with mechanics was because I really wanted to learn about working on cars, and that was the whole point of it. But I was never once able to hotwire a car in that game because my characters just couldn't get that first level of electrical skill. Dragon Puncher Eli says that people who eat hot dogs and other sausages are heroes for eating the parts of the animals that other people won't eat. Okay, I'm deadly tired now, so I'm not stopping to fight hordes anymore. That was fun while it lasted, but we're headed home. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I was actually intending to go around ripping zombie clothes to get a little bit more thread and tailoring. Okay, we got one zombie coming after me here. That's not too bad. You do take really deep penalties for being tired like this. So you see how many times I'm having to hit this zombie. It's ridiculous. I'm only doing this because it's a single zombie. And he's also got fancy overalls on. I like overalls because they have a lot of body coverage, so they help with layering. So I'm actually going to take those without ripping them. Now I'll rip the rest of these. All right, no thread. Let's do a little bit more ripping here. Denim shorts, so I'm going to get some denim strips from that. And then let's rip some more clothes. Le Coalition thinks that I'm a pervert for ripping all these zombies' clothes off. I don't understand why. This is purely pragmatic. I clearly am doing this for the right reasons. Wait, why am I hearing... Oh, crap! What the heck did they come from? Okay, good thing we left the engine running. All right, you know what? We're not going to do as much of that as I thought we were. We're gonna go home. We're going home. We can come back in a later session. Chadab says that in response to me saying, "Oh, I have a perfectly practical reason for doing this," like that's what a pervert would say. It's tough that humans are so good at self-justification that what a pervert would say and just what a normal person would say are the same thing, because they're good at perverts are good at self-justification. All right, so I really don't need all of these ripped sheets and things. I'm gonna just drop these on a dead body. Boink. I do like the rest of this stuff though. Oh, I'm hungry, so let's go. The first thing we're gonna grab is our stew or soup. Let's eat our bird soup, birds and beans. Let me tell you about the birds and the beans and the whatever. Not a lot of things rhyme with that. Actually, now I can think of some things that do, but I'm not going to say them because I'm not a pervert. Anyway, let's place this down here and let's go back out. and grab more stuff. Can I carry all of the food at the same time? Yes. At great cost. Just loading up on the soda. Things, I don't know if I've got a good place to put this much soda. Okay, I guess got everything here. So let's go over and see where can or should I put these things. So we've got, this is where I'm putting all my canned food, but I don't think I got any canned food. I think I've just got snacks. I think keep snacks down here. Okay, good. We got a lot of space in the snack container. So let's just definitely put all the snacks in there to start. Oh, that includes the orange soda, I guess. And now, since we've got the freezer, I'm actually thinking it might be smart for me to, because soda is just different from other things, I feel like, okay, I've been keeping it up here. But I'm thinking maybe, not because it needs to be refrigerated, because this game was made by Europeans, and they like to drink their soda room temperature. And so they don't take refrigerating soda very seriously. But I am going to take it, basically, because I'm going to have freezer space now. I feel like it's okay if I use up some of my fridge space to hold on to my soda. So that's what I'm going to do. So the fridge is where the soda goes. And now what else do I have back here? I've got the fridge. Let's do that last. Spare water bottles? I don't know. I've got so many contingencies back here. An extra axe, and extra water bottles. I'm just, in case I get into trouble. But I feel like, I know when I'm going to a place where I'm going to get into trouble. I don't necessarily need to carry all of this stuff, do I? I've got so much space anyway. I feel like maybe I might as well. I don't know. Let's take the water bottles out of here just because they're taking up space. And someday, okay, and it's just a shotgun in here, so I'm going to leave that there too. That's also a contingency I like having. Now, spare water bottles. I do have a place for those. I'm keeping them in this backpack. So I'll... Wait. One of these is the one I actually like to use. Let's put these in there. Oh, it's the empty bottle that I like to use. That's the one. Okay, well, let's... You know what? We should boil some water anyway. So I'm going to grab... Actually, let's grab these buckets. I'm going to grab these 3 buckets. And I'm going to fill them from my rain collector. And then I'm going to boil these buckets. So, in general, I think cooking pots are good for cooking, obviously. And they're also good for disinfecting rags. But I think buckets might actually be more convenient. At least for me. I don't know. I've had better results with buckets for trying to just refill bottles and things like that. They're small, they're convenient. You can put a bunch of them on the counter together without looking weird. And I appreciate that about them. So... Let's throw these in the stove, in the oven, turn it on. So Lico Lucian wants to know, as a father of 4, what is the most dad joke I have ever said? That would be really hard. Like, the problem is, as a dad, and also as somebody who has suffered from paranomasia his entire life, I make puns so constantly that it's actually hard for me to remember them. Like, it's just a part of how I talk. So yeah, I couldn't possibly tell you. All right, so I'm going to fill 2 bottles. I guess I've got 2 bottles. All right, and then we'll take this second bottle, which must be in my backpack, and we're going to... Oh, we got more water bottles here. Okay, they're all going in the backpack. Water bottles go in the backpack. Oh, we filled it up. We can't get another one in there. Well, fine. It's not bad to have a spare. Okay, the rest of this, we've got electronics. I think I keep electronics in here. Yep, electronics goes in here. Though, actually, oh, wait, let's hold on to these electronics because we need to refill the generator. So the generator is definitely running low on gas. So we're going to have to turn it off anyway to refill it. So let's just do that. Let's just turn it off and repair it and refill it. And then we'll start taxing it at that point by adding the freezer. So we've turned it off. Let's add fuel from the gas can. And then Let's fix the generator. So the generator was at like 80%. So we're using those the pieces we got from those watches that we were disassembling in the field. We're using those now. Yes! +1 electrical. Awesome. Okay, so we got the +1 electrical. You need, in order to hotwire cars, you need +1 electrical and +2 mechanics. Let's check out the generator info. We're at 98% and 96%. Good enough for me. Let's turn it on. Get it going again. So, we're running low on time. I'm going to have to get to a meeting fairly soon. Actually, you know what I should have done? I should have grabbed the gas can from back here, because I want to put this gas can back into the trunk so we can refill it the next time we're downtown. I'll drag this one out, and I'll put it on the shelf. We should head back down there. We should make sure it's relatively free of zombies. And then we should not only gather clothing from zombies, but we should also see if we can practice some tire changing and stuff like that. Get her mechanic skill up a little bit. That's going to be risky because those are basically, because I can't build myself a safe place to do that work, I have to clear that place out as well as I possibly can, hope it's safe, and then just keep checking around me before I do long duration jobs. And I don't know how well that's going to go. But I think it's worthwhile because I think that, like we lucked into getting a couple of decent heavy duty vehicles that are drivable, which was really good. And because we lucked into that, we've been kind of coasting on that for a while. Shonda's been able to get by on having, on very little investment in her cars because she found such good ones up front. Oh, there's my reminder of my meeting. So did I have a pokey bag? That's where I'll stick this hand axe. And then I think, what else do I have here? Is it all close? Okay, we got some drugs. Put our drugs where drugs go. Vitamins go in there. Oh, they won't all fit though. Well, actually, so vitamins. Let's see here. Should I treat them like there's something different? What do I keep in here? Tissue? I don't know. Actually, let's put antibiotics where the disinfectant goes, and that'll probably give me just enough space for the vitamins. There we go. I'll worry about organization later. That's good enough for now. And then let's come into here to our tailoring bathroom. And doesn't everyone have a tailoring bathroom? I'm going to grab this sewing kit that's useless, and I'm going to stick it in the cabinet. So let's drop off our stuff that we got. The military boots, I guess I'll throw them in there too. Even though I can't really work on them. It's good to have them in the same place where I'm looking for other bits of armored clothing. And then the thread. Okay, let me show you my favorite thing to do with thread. So thread usually comes in some amount that is less than the maximum amount that it can be contained in an object. It can be depleted, right? And you have different random amounts of thread. And sometimes if you're doing a long patching job, it gets interrupted by you running out of different thread objects. And so what you can do is grab a single one of them, right-click it, and hit Add To. So you can add it to a different thread to combine them, or just consolidate all. And then your character combines all of the threads together to make the minimum number of individual thread objects, which is just so convenient and lovely, because then I can actually tell, looking at this, how much thread I have. Whereas before, you really couldn't tell from the number of thread items how much you had. So, okay, so we're lined up at our bed. We're ready to go to sleep. I think... Oh, I know I'm carrying this crowbar. Let's go take care of the crowbar. I don't need that right now. Do I, though? Actually, I mean, we might have learned today that I'm not that great with the nightstick. Okay, let's take these shovels. We'll stick them on a shelf together because we're running out of room in our long smacky bag. Actually, I think a lead pipe. So I think a lead pipe is stored on your back, but I think it actually counts as a short blunt weapon. So actually, the lead pipe might be a better weapon for Shonda, just because she can carry it conveniently on her back, leaving room for like tools and things in her belt. But it still takes advantage of her short blunt skill. That might be a really good move. I'm not going to do it right now, but that might be a really good move in the future. Again, I'm not I'm not thinking I need a garden saw and a hammer right now. What I'm going to need on our next trip is a wrench. So let me grab this wrench. And I'll also need the screwdriver. So we'll hold on to that. But let me stick the hammer and the garden saw just in this same container. We'll grab them later. Because I'm not going to be doing a lot of furniture disassembly on this trip. I'm going to be doing a lot of vehicle disassembly on this trip. All right, so we are ready to wrap this up. But I should take a couple seconds to catch up with the chat because I always fall way behind. So let's see here. Oh, interesting. So Malicher says right before the episode with Bill and Frank in The Last of Us, they just made themselves a rabbit and carrot roast, and then saw Bill make the exact same thing in the game. So that's pretty funny. Cogs asked if I'm going to be playing Wanted Dead. I haven't looked into that game. I don't really know much about it, so I can't tell you one way or the other. Let me know if you think that it seems really cool. Oh, hey, Hardcore Man joined us from Russia. Hi, Hardcore Man. Nice to meet you. Sorry that I missed you when you first came in. I get off on a roll, and I start losing track of the chat. But I appreciate you coming in here and hanging out with us. Dragon Puncher Eli asked if I own any cordless tools like a cordless drill. I do. We bought them a long time ago, and the batteries have started to die. My wife found some good replacement batteries, so I think we're back in fighting shape again. But for a while, we had to use them very sparingly. La Coalition says, could she really make a ring for her belt for the police baton? I guess so. I mean, she has stuffed in her belt, so I suppose so. Oh, hey, Noanmai has showed up. Sorry you showed up for the end of the stream, Noanmai, instead of the beginning, but it is good to have you here. And let's see here. Ranith Court asks, are there anti-zombie traps you can build in place around town to help passively keep the area clear? So I know that there are gadgets you can build if you build up your electrician skill, but I don't know what they do because I haven't paid any attention to them because I've never had a high electricity skill. So it didn't seem like I felt like there was a gap in what I was doing that would, that I needed to fill with that skill, so I just haven't put a lot of focus into it. The same way, like, I started working on my mechanic skill because I'm like, having a good car is really valuable. I can see how valuable that is. I haven't seen the value of the electricity hodgepodgey tools, but mostly that's because I play in Builder. My base doesn't get attacked by wandering hordes of zombies because they're not just everywhere on the map at all times. So I'm not sure. Thing is, I feel like it would be anticlimactic to set a trap far away from home and have it disable zombies I don't see, just because I'd be like, oh, I put a bunch of resources into this and I guess it killed some zombies, but I don't know what difference that made, especially if it could happen far away from home and then they respawn and get replaced, and it's like it didn't really make a difference to my experience. So I think around my base would be the only place I'd want to do it. Unless there was something where it's like it passively would suppress spawning. Like, if there's a thing I could do that would suppress spawning and it would keep the area clear, not by trapping zombies I never see, which seems anticlimactic, but just by somehow deterring zombies, that would be neat. But that would also seem OP in a lot of other settings, so I'm not sure that would work. Let's see here. So, okay, so Cogs, I did get your message about who I should raid next, so I'm going to try to do that. Oh, and Cogs also mentioned that he thinks I'm not wearing pants in real life. And I'm not going to disabuse you of that notion. I'm not standing up. So there you go. Coalition says that sounds like a good effect for an outpost to have. Yeah, so if it was a big, heavy investment, it's not something you could do everywhere all the time. Maybe that would work, but yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting thought. So no one might says, I just tuned in to see what Jeffrey's hair is doing. Awesome. Well, it appreciates your attention. But that is one thing about my hair. My hair does love attention. All right, so I think I'm mostly caught up here. Sorry if I missed something you said earlier on, but I do need to get out of here, so we should wrap up the stream. So if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, there is a way to do that. You can also ring the bell and other stuff. And then I'm going to try to get Shonda to learn some mechanic skill, and we're going to start that process next episode.